Hey folks, can you guys hear me? Let me know in the chat. Is audio is my audio clear? Thank you. Good morning everyone. So we are back again trading on US30 and sharing analysis on US 500, US 100. So let's go. So what am I looking on the chart? I'm looking on US30, the daily chart. We cleared the buy side liquidity that I mentioned before the week started, and nothing special here, right? We didn't see any retracement towards the downside on London session. You know what happens, like before a high impact news, we have NFP on Friday, right? Let's see, let's check. We have non-farm employment change on Friday 8:30, and then we have 8:30 news at Thursday about unemployment claims. So what my experience tells me, like before the high impact news, price generates liquidity, and in the high impact news, price likes to take that out. So I prefer to be safe this week rather than trying to force any new trade idea. If there's like a very clean, if a setup is like 70% clean, then I'm taking it. Other than that, I'll be very cautious before I push any button, right? Because this market, as we saw yesterday, is one-sided. It was not offering any significant sell-side liquidity. Like it was only going towards the short-term sell-side liquidity, and then it's retracing back again towards the buy side, right? And that's what we saw so far. We have a relative equal high on 4-hour chart right at the top, so I'm also keeping that in mind. And we have this breaker block, right? I mentioned yesterday. This breaker block is from the daily chart, so and now we are inside of it. It's on 4-hour. So let's see what happens. Let's go on the 5-minute chart. So on 5-minute, that's what I'm looking for now. We had a buy side liquidity right here, right? We had a major buy side liquidity pool right here. Price took it, then price generated buy side liquidity 3 more times, then offered buy side liquidity, and we have sell side liquidity towards the downside, right? And we are close to our macro. Now it's 8:19. Do we have a stop hunt? Yes, we have a stop hunt. It's on 5-minute chart. I'll take you guys on the lower time frames. But let's just focus on US30. Yesterday I was like giving analysis on every other chart. Today I won't do that. Today I'll mainly focus on US30, and other pairs are just like, for a little bit analysis. Okay, so we have a stop hunt. Okay, so before I talk more about the setup, I'm only looking in the breaker block setup, okay? So that's what I'm doing. If I see any other setup with like suppose fair value gap, then price is getting support from an order block, I'll tell you, but it's not a trade that I'll take. I'll only take if a setup is like 70% clean. And how do I know it's a clean? I'll tell you if I see it. And yeah, I'll just be cautious because of the price action that's happening since yesterday, right? And we have a high back news at 10. So let's see what price shows us. So we have a stop hunt, and price is moving towards the premium zone in this swing high to this swing low, right? If we measure the premium to the discount, then premium to the discount, okay. So that's how it is. So price is moving towards the premiums all right. So we have a reclaimed fair value gap right here, right? So I want to see price do something like this. Wait, let me fix the Fibonacci. Yeah, now it's good. So what I want to see this reclaimed fair value gap. I want to see price getting retraced from there. Okay, I want to see price get support towards the sell side liquidity as we have a short term liquidity pool with equal lows right here. Right? Do you see it? Okay. Reclaimed reclaimed fair value gap, or we will say it inversion, whatever you like. Okay, it's not like it has a fixed name. I like to call it reclaimed fair value gap because this fair value gap we are using it once again, right? So it's reclaimed. So I want to see price retracing from this reclaimed fair value gap, and if we are going like above, if we are closing a candle's body above the reclaimed fair value gap, we will hunt the buy side liquidity towards that. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at on US30. We have a short-term sell side liquidity right here. I'll just mark it as internal sell side liquidity. So SSL is sell side liquidity. It's the short form of the sell side liquidity. And if I take you on the 5-minute chart, we have a fair value gap, right? We have a BC at this part. Okay, is my stream clear? Can you see it? Let me know in the chat. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So we have this unfilled fair value gap right here, right? So I'm just gonna name everything. Yesterday I didn't name anything, right? So today I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna name everything. I'm gonna mark everything. That's what I'm saying. So we have an unfilled fair value gap with equal lows. So let's see what price does. If it was like not a high impact news, then I would have trust my analysis. Okay, but with the high impact news and with this kind of price action, I'm just a little bit more careful. Okay, so let's see what price is doing on higher time frames. I told you what US30 is doing on 4 hour, right? Let's just put US30 here on 15 minute. So on 15 minute we have another fair value gap right here. Do you see it? It's on 15-minute chart. Okay, so we have a fair value gap. It's a BPR, right? So if we are not seeing a retracement from this BPR, I'm pretty sure we are we are gonna expand higher. Okay, so let's see what price does. Let's wait for the rejection. So far it's looking good. We are getting retraced from this reclaimed fair value gap. As soon as we are not closing a candle's body above the midway, above that consequent encroachment, I'm pretty sure we are going to hunt this internal sell side liquidity and then later on fill this fair value gap. And then we have a major level of sell side liquidity right here. At this swing low, sell side liquidity. Bottom right. Okay, do you see it? It's good. So that's what I'm looking at on US30. Now let's look at dollar. Okay, so I did an analysis before I started the live stream. So it's an hourly chart. Price did a stop hunt here, right? That's a stop hunt. Price did a stop hunt here, and that these down close candles becomes our breaker block. And what you are seeing right now, we have a fair value gap inside this breaker block, right? Okay, so do you see I'm applying only one concept of breaker block in every analysis that I'm doing? I'm applying that to it. I'm not I can see a fair value gap right here, right? But I'm mixing it with my breaker block analysis. I'm not gonna rely confidently on one fair value gap alone. I'm putting it with also breaker block. So price just hit the fair value gap right inside this breaker block. And if we are retracing from this breaker block, we can expect to see this swing low to get taken out, right? That's what makes sense. And this red line that you see, let's go on the daily chart. Okay, so this red line that you see right here, right, it's a breaker block low on daily chart. That's a breaker block. That's a swing low, right? Price went below the swing low. These up close candles becomes what? Our breaker block. That's a simple logic. So price is now what? Inside this breaker block, right? So in a breaker block, what we want to see is something like this. Like price want to retrace. Price should retrace and then provide us a up move, right? So I just marked the low of the breaker block. If price is closing a candle's body below the low of the breaker block, we are going to hunt this major level of sell side liquidity down here, right? But that's price is not gonna provide that in one day. So I'm only marking this red line here. I want to if price is closing a candle's body below this breaker block, okay? I'm very bearish on dollar. Until then, I'm just in sidelines. Let's see what happens on hourly chart, 60-minute, right? Does it make sense? It does make sense to me. We have a breaker block, we have a stop hunt, we have a fair value gap. So it's like a unicorn, right? Let me mark everything. Breaker block. Then we have this fair value gap. CB, right? Sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. That's the CB. So we have a fair value gap. Right here, price is retracing. So if dollar is retracing, what do we expect on indices? That's the problem, when dollar and indices are moving together, they likes to manipulate. It doesn't give you a clean analysis. And when it does that, avoid dollar. Okay. How do I feel about US 100? Okay, I didn't look at US 100 yet. Let's look at US 100. Before that, let's look at ES. So on ES, we took a major level of liquidity from here. Okay, that's a equal high, right? I mentioned about this equal high in yesterday's live stream. I told you guys, the people, my friends who are trading on ES, keep an eye on this equal high, right? I told you guys, doesn't even remember that. And what the price did today? Price came all the way up. So I'm looking for a retracement to a downside as we have relative equal lows, right? As a strong sell side liquidity, and we have this imbalance. It's on hourly chart. We don't need price to come all the way down to make us profitable, but that's our bias, right? Towards the downside. So let's see what price does. Price is just retracing. We have a hourly fair value gap right here. Let's go on the 15-minute chart. Nothing is clear yet on the 15-minute. Let's go on 5-minute. On 5-minute, we can see a breaker block. That's our buy side liquidity, right? So price did a stop hunt in this buy side liquidity, then price generated another equal high and went above it, right? So this becomes our new equal high. This is our higher high, and this is our new higher high. new higher high. So this down close candles becomes our breaker block. So let's see if price is closing a candle's body. Did price close the candle's body before? No, it's 8:30, right? It's inside of our macro zone, and let's wait for price to close the candle's body. I don't see a relative equal high towards the upside. Price, I'm pretty satisfied with the liquidity that price offered on the buy side. So let's see what price does. We need a confirmation to a candle closure, a candle's body closure below the breaker block, right? To be safe, if you come on 3-minute chart, right? I need a candle's body closure below this fair value gap, below this breaker block. Why am I saying I need a candle's body closure below this breaker block? We have relative equal lows right here, right? So what price can do, price can just come down and not close the candle's body below and just take liquidity from there and went up, right? So I need a candle's body closure below the breaker block to see price bearish. Other than that, I'm not doing anything. Let's just wait. Okay, someone's saying to increase the volume. Okay, let's look on Nasdaq. Okay, Nasdaq. What is it? Okay, so on Nasdaq, that's what I see. Okay, I'm using the chart from currency.com. So, and we have a volume imbalance right here. It might be different on your broker, but that's what I see. So we have a volume imbalance, right? So I marked it, and price is now where? Inside this volume imbalance. I measured the volume imbalance. So now let's go on the lower time frame, like 5-minute chart. And what price is doing? Price closed the candle's body below the midway of the volume imbalance, right? But price has generated equal high, right? And we also have relative equal lows towards the downside. We have unfilled gaps, a lot of unfilled gaps. Price was very aggressive towards the buy side since yesterday, right? So let's see what happens. I'm not gonna force any trade idea. I'm gonna be very cautious. So let's see what price does. I don't see a breaker block on Nasdaq though. Let's go on 3-minute. No, no breaker block on Nasdaq. Price is just like aggressive on Nasdaq. It looks choppy to me. It's like on high resistance liquidity run on US 100. Wow. Just look at US 30. It's beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so I think we missed a trade when we were talking about other charts. Yeah. So price came all the way up to the premium. Price hit the reclaimed fair value gap, right? And then where was our breaker block? Oh my god, did I just miss this trade? And it was in the macro zone, right? What? Okay, I didn't push any button on my live account. I was talking. Anyway, there will be more opportunities. So that's the breaker block. That's what I see, right? And price was delivering just like I was saying to you. So that's a breaker block to me. If it's not a breaker block to you, then I don't care. So that's a breaker block. And if you want to get more precise, then this is the whole part of the breaker block, right? So you have to have. Do you see how my analysis was done? Do you remember what I was telling you? I was telling you about this reclaimed fair value gap, this inversion, right? Before price actually hit that inversion, I told you that I want to see price retracing from this inversion level. And did price close the candle's body above the midway of this reclaimed fair value gap? No. So what we want to see, price remain heavy towards the downside, right? Price did not close the candle's body, so we want to see price remain heavy towards the downside. We want to see every other PD array that supported price when it was going towards the upside. We want to see price meshing through those PD arrays. What I mean by that, let's go on the 3-minute chart. We have an order block right here, right? Do you see this down close candle? That's an order block. We don't want to see price getting support from it. It can get a support and it can reach to the premium, right? If we measure this swing high, this candle's high to the candle's low, then we can expect price to go to the premium zone and feel this volume imbalance right here, right? We have volume imbalance right here, but as long as price is not closing a candle body above the midway of the fair value breaker block, we are safe, and we don't want to see this order block providing support price towards the up close towards buy side. We want to see price remain heavy towards sell side. Is it clear, chat? Is my indication clear? And we had a 15-minute fair value gap, right? I told you that's a BPR. That's a very strong confluence. That's a very strong PD array. And we want to see price remain, price don't, we want to see price don't want to close the candle's body above the BPR. And we got that. Price did not close the candle's body above the BPR. We are remaining heavy towards the downside. Let's go on the 1-minute chart. Yes. So we have our breaker block right here. So I see a trade idea right here. If you guys are confident, you can put a risk and you can target these relative equal lows, this internal sell side liquidity, and ultimately we can target this fair value gap. Let's see what price does, right? I don't want to see price coming all the way up and closing a candle's body above the midway, right? That's the real signal, a signal where you can learn and also see the same thing happening on your chart live, right? That's the signal that you want. You don't want me to tell you, okay, enter here, put your stop loss above the reclaimed fair value gap, and then target this uh, internal sell side liquidity. So what are you learning? When I'm gone, you are not gonna be able to trade, right? So I'm telling you the confirmation. I'm telling you what I'm looking at. It's better than signal, right, chat? If you are liking it, if you are liking my commentaries, hit the like button, right? Show your support towards the channel. Hit the like button. Let me get to 150. Let's see. 272 people watching. Let's go to 150. Okay, so I don't want to see this order block support price. Okay, keep in mind that we want to see every other PD array that supported price towards the upside when price was offering buy side, right? The PD arrays like order block, then this fair value gap. We don't want to see price getting support from these PD arrays, right? So look at this rejection. Wow. One indication, and that's what you are looking. You should measure price with logic, folks, okay? If you don't have a logic in your analysis is very likely gonna get wrong. No position before 920. No new position before 920, right? Yeah, because we crossed our macro. Price provided a setup in our macro zone, right? Let's go on 1-minute chart. Let's put the okay. So when is our macro? From 820. Okay, I'm gonna mark this thing live in front of you. so that you can remember 820 to 835, right? So that's our macro zone, 820 to 830. We extend it to 5 minutes. And what do you see happening? When did the price hit this reclaimed fair value gap? When it happened? In between this time zone, right? So what is this time zone right now? It's a macro. Why is it a macro? A macro is a time period, a selected time period where you see price doing the same thing, same repetitive move again and again. So there was like two trades he could have taken from this reclaimed fair value gap, right? And from this breaker block. So there are two confirmation. What I tell you is that in my macro zone, you will see a breaker block forming. Did you see a breaker block forming today live? And did you hear me mention about this breaker block, about this reclaimed fair value gap, and how I wanna see price retracing from the fair value gap? Okay, it happened live. That's how you improve, okay? Okay, so far today is beautiful. I'm enjoying price action today. So we have this fair value gap is on it's a discount PD array. So I get a lot of question like, how do you know, Hydra, how do you know it's a discount? How do you know it's a premium, right? So I did everything in front of you. If you remember that analysis since beginning, what I did was I measured the swing high from this swing low, right? And then I told you that I want to see price coming all the way up and hit this premium PD array. Why is it a premium PD array? Because it's in a premium zone. Why my Fibonacci is always wrong on the other side? Okay, now it's correct. So this fair value gap, this reclaimed fair value gap is on premium, right? So that's how I know if a PD array is on premium and if it's gonna work. So now are you confident, right? If you see the same thing happening in this same time zone again and again, right? It's not gonna happen like every day. I say it every day because it's gonna happen in different macro zones, right? And if you see it happening again and again every day, will you become confident? Just like me. I'm talking to you confidently, right? You can see the confidence inside my talking. I can indicate market in one time zone. And when I can do that, I can do that in macro zones because I know price did the same thing before. Like for the 1 year, folks, I've been seeing the same thing happening again and again. I didn't realize it first, but once I went through my trades, I have a journal. Like I'm gonna show you my journal. Okay, so that's the section. So these are like all my trades for past 1 year. It's not organized, but if I take you through like every picture here, you will find like every day since 2022 of May, I was in front of chart. I was trading. Do you see it? I have a whole 1 year of data. That's how I knew like price works. Price does the same repetitive thing again and again in between these macro time zones. Okay, let's okay, what did I tell you? I told you that I want to see this order block not supporting price towards the upside, right? And what did price did? Look at this candle. These candles came all the way up to this order block, hit this order block, right? And now it's moving towards the internal sell side liquidity that I told you. So that's a that's a level that you want to take a partial. Okay? Don't be greedy and don't be like, okay, Hydra is giving me a signal. I'm gonna just hold and I'm not gonna close this trade. No. Okay, so we are targeting this fair value gap because it's in a discount PD array. Okay, we didn't actually got the 150 likes. So if we just thumbs up, It would be good. Can you do that? Okay. Did you took a partial? Take a partial. If you guys are not hitting the like button, I'm not gonna say anything anymore. I want every one of you to hit the like button. That's what I want from you. And what you want from me is top quality analysis. That's what I'm doing. So show your support. Okay, those who are not hitting the like button, they are basically watching for free. And you are gonna get kicked out because of that. So we took a partial right here, right? So now we don't care. Put your stop loss if you are in this trade, like, you know, like these are basic things. Once price gives you a partial, you put your stop loss to the entry, right? So let's go. Let's see what price is doing. So if you entered in this retracement, right? Let's measure the what's our risk to reward. If you were putting your stop loss above the breaker block, bro, that's a 2R, right where the place where I'm telling you to take partial, that's a 2R trade, right? I clearly told you when price was here, you can enter, you can take the trade, right? And price did exactly the same thing with logic. I gave you a signal with logic. That's a 2R. If you are taking your profit here, that's a 3R trade. I'm measuring it because someone like was telling me your breaker block concept does not give 1R. Bro, are you blind? If someone is telling me like breaker block does not give 1R, I'm blocking him next time. So just be cautious, you know. That's a beautiful price action. Let me take a screenshot. So KWD is asking when is our next macro. Our next macro is on 9:20 to 9:30, but we are gonna avoid that because we have a 10 o'clock high impact news, right? So I'm just more cautious today. Okay, so today you took a trade with Hydra and you saw the profits. That's the fun of good analysis, you know. That's what I do every day. I've been telling you guys all on Twitter, like this thing repeats every day. Okay, so we took this trade. Okay, if you were like if you were a good ICT student, you would have been entered once price hit this reclaimed fair value gap, right? I would have entered once price was closing a candle's body below the below this down close candle that you see right here. I would have entered there, but I was doing analysis on other charts, so I missed the trade. Anyway, I took an entry here, right? When I gave you guys signal, I took an entry here and my TP was here. I wasn't targeting this fair value gap. My TP was here, so I'm done for today. I got 2R. I'm happy, but I'm gonna do a analysis till like 10:50. So our TP was hit, right? If you are still holding, close it because it's not safe. It's not safe anymore. Close your trade. We don't get greedy here. Okay, let's see what Dixie doing. Where is Dixie? Okay, that's the very reason I tell you to avoid when your analysis is clear on your chart, right? When you have a good analysis on US30, just avoid like looking at dollar. So we are just gonna avoid dollar. Let's look at Nasdaq. What is Nasdaq doing? Wow. So what did I tell you? That's a volume imbalance. Do you remember? That's a volume imbalance from 4-hour chart, right? What's happening with my charts? Okay, so that's a volume imbalance. Do you see it right now? What I did, I measured the volume imbalance and I extended on our today's trading session. Okay, just before I tell you what to do, just look at the rejection in price from this volume imbalance. Did price close the candle's body above the volume imbalance in past? Did it close the candle's body above the volume imbalance? No, it did not. Price was closing a candle's body below the midway level, and what do you see? Price remained heavy towards the sell side, right? That's a past price behavior. That's a hindsight analysis. And now that's a real analysis. We are seeing the same thing here again. Here again today. So if I take you on 3-minute chart, right? That's our whole volume imbalance. And if we measure it, price closed the candle's body where? Below the midway level of this breaker block. Sorry, below the midway level of this volume imbalance. Right? So we want to see price remain heavy towards the downside. Okay, do you see me doing a lot of things? Do you see me mixing every other ICT concept in my analysis? No. I'm only trading with one concept, but I'm analyzing my chart with other concepts, right? But I'm only taking trade with a breaker block concept. So, okay, so do you see why I told you to close your trade, right? The people who are holding, still holding, they're retail. Don't look at them, okay? So we came all the way down to the fair value gap. Why I told you that that's a discount zone. You want to close your trade when price comes down to this discount zone, right? Why did I told you that? Because of the equal lows that mixed with this fair value gap. Okay, we also have a liquidity void right here, right? Do you see it? That's a liquidity void. Why it's a liquidity void? You can ask me like, Hydro, why is a liquidity void? Because there is no wick. It's just a gap in price, right? So that's a discount PDRA. Once price reach it, you just want to close your trade. The people who are asking, do I have a Discord? I don't have a Discord. Discord is bullshit. You can find me on Telegram and then on Twitter. All the links are on my about section on my YouTube channel. Okay, so our macro zone is over. Price is now manipulating, right? When we should avoid a trade, we should avoid trading after 8:35 till 9:20. That's the time period we want to avoid trading because that's the time when price manipulates, right? You don't want to be in any trade right now. If you are in any trade, you are not listening to me. And if you want to do something by your own, take your risk, okay? I don't care. Me personally, I'm done for today. I got 2 hours, okay? So I made enough money for today. When I was working, I was making like $130, $140 every day, and I was doing like a whole 8-hour shift. And now I'm just sitting here and just reading price, and I'm making more than that. I'm happy with 2 hour. I'm done with 2 hour. I don't care if price present a setup like in other times of the day. I'm done for today. Okay, but I'm gonna do my analysis. So what we are looking at here, we are seeing price getting support from this order block, right? Yesterday I didn't mention the order block, and a lot of you are was saying, oh, okay, that I see order block here, I see order block there. Why? I'm telling you, I'm only gonna take a trade with a breaker block. Order block, I don't fucking care. Okay? And if you have a problem with that, you know what you can do. So let's wait for our 920 to 930 macro. I'm not trusting our today's macro, right? I'm not trusting the 920 to 930 macro because of this very news. The news that you see at 10 o'clock, JOLTS, job openings. Because of that, I'm not gonna take any new trade at 920 to 930. I'm sitting still. I'm gonna wait for my 950 to 1010 macro to show me another breaker block setup. Okay? So in between 4 time zones, I look for only one setup. And what is the setup? It's a breaker block. Okay, let's talk more about breaker block. Let's clear some confusion about breaker block, because a lot of you are like, you know what a breaker block is, but okay, so that's our breaker block, right? This down close candle that you see, if you extend it out on time, that's a breaker block. And a lot of you are like, once price retraces back to it, right, then I will take a enter. Most of the time price does not do that, and even if price is doing it, price will go towards the upside. So when do you enter? Right, that's a good question. When do you enter? Do you take aggressive entry? What do you see here? Price closed the candle's body. That's like a perfect example of breaker block. Screenshot it, folks. Screenshot it, save it. So that's the breaker block. Price closed the candle's body below the breaker block, and that's the retracement that you want to see. You don't want to see price coming all the way up, right? You want to see small retracements like this. The candles that you see here, did any of these candles close the candle's body inside the breaker block? Do you see it? No. So what do we want to see? That's a clear indication of retracement. Price closed the candle's body below the breaker block, price retraced, that's the second entry. You can enter, you can take your first entry as soon as price like close the candle's body below the breaker block. You can engage one more time here with a stop loss above the breaker block, right? These are very clear thing, folks. You enter once price close the candle's body below the breaker block, you put your stop loss above the breaker block, and you target the nearest liquidity pool. That was our nearest liquidity pool. This internal sell side liquidity, we took a partial here, and that was our destination, this fair value gap, right? I told you to close your trade here, and now what you were seeing here, price getting support from the PD arrays, right? That's a PD array. A lot of new ICT students are like, I don't know what's a PD array. That's a PD array. That's an order block. And what are you seeing here? Price taking support from it, okay? Okay, someone is asking, what's my age? I'm 22. Is the breaker block from earlier still valid after 9:30? No, it's not valid. It's not valid anymore. Unknown legend, but isn't that a 1 minute breaker block? What a 1 minute breaker block? What are you talking about? Yeah, that's a 1 minute chart. Price is just shopping around. Okay, I'm just looking at the price section. Nothing is happening. Okay, let's look at US 100. What is US 100 doing? Just the things that I told you. I told you that we saw price close the candle's body below the volume imbalance, below the midway of the volume imbalance. So we should remain heavy towards the downside. But we have equal highs here, right? Do you see the equal highs? So what I'm expecting at 920 to 930, price coming all the way up, taking out this buy side liquidity and then going down, right? Then we can know what price wanna do after price takes out these equal highs from this on Nasdaq on US 100. So that's what I wanna see on US 100. US 500. What is US 500 doing? That's the very reason I avoid trading on ES. Do you see how choppy it is? Do you see a clean setup here? I don't see a clean setup. Price did close the candle's body below the breaker block, but now price came again, and let's see if price is like getting retraced from here. We can target this, right? That's a clean target, but I'm not gonna take this trade. I'm not gonna take this trade. Why? Because it's a no trade zone. We do not engage at 920 before 920. That's a fair value gap right here. So if price wanna come down, I wanna see price smashing through this fair value gap. I don't wanna see price getting support from this fair value gap, right? If price is getting support, then we can expect something like this. But if price is not getting support and remaining heavy, then we can expect something like this. And so far we have a breaker block here, right? And price closed the candle's body below the breaker block, and then price retraced again to the breaker block. And now where's our destination? If you ask me, our destination, our a partial would be here. But I'm not taking this trade. I'm not telling you to take this trade. Okay, don't take it. It's just an analysis. We are tape reading, right? We want to see how price reacts to different zone. We are learning. I'm learning with you, and you are learning with me. That's what we are doing. Let's see what it does. What is dollar doing? Let's go on the dollar. Dollar. What is dollar doing? Okay, we are still inside of the fair value gap that I mentioned, right? That's a fair value gap inside the breaker block. Okay, did price close the candle's body above the midway of the breaker block? Let's measure the breaker block. Anatomy. Did price close the candle's body? Now let's go on the 3 minute chart. Yes, price on dollar closed the candle's body above the breaker block, right? So what we want to see, price dollar remain heavy towards the upside. Does it make sense? We have a fair value gap right here inside this breaker. So this breaker block that I mentioned is not valid anymore. I don't want to see price coming down anymore, right? I told you about this breaker block, and now this breaker block is not valid. I want to see price remain heavy towards the upside. Let's see what price does. Why am I saying to you that I want to see price remain heavy towards the upside? Because price came all the way up. Price closed the candle's body above the midway of the breaker block, right? And we have a fair value gap right here. Do you see a fair value gap? That's a fair value gap. So if we are expecting higher prices, right, we don't want to see price closing a candle's body below this breaker block, below this fair value gap. Oh my god, I'm so addicted to breaker block, right? Every time in every other PD arrays, I'm saying breaker block. Okay, someone is asking. I'm not gonna read your question, okay? Alfredo is asking quick question, Hydra. I see that your breaker includes consecutive down close candle, but there's also a small up close dodgy among. Okay, dodgy. I don't care about dodgy. Regarding that, shouldn't it be only the one that are down close? Okay, I don't know what is a dodgy, okay? I think that's a dodgy, right? Is it a dodgy? That's a dodgy, right? So yeah, you can mark the breaker block like this. You can mark the two candles. For me, when I'm doing like my own analysis, I only mark the last two down close candles, because I told you guys yesterday, if you measure the breaker block, right, the last two down close candles are below the midway, right? So if price is coming all the way up and closing a candle's body above the midway of the breaker block, then our analysis is not valid. This breaker block is not valid. So that's the very reason I select only two consecutive down close candles. But as I'm doing the analysis on live, and as some people are learning, I'm just gonna mark the whole breaker block. But just know that me personally, I only select that last two down close candles for precision. I seek precision, and that's how I get it. Okay, so our order block failed, right? We want to see price remain heavy towards the downside. Why? Because that's the order block that I marked, right? Price went up, price got support from this order block. Now, what are we looking at? Price rejecting below this order block. Price closed the candle's body below this order block. So I want to see price remain heavy towards the downside. How far we can go? We can come down here, right? That's a swing low. That's our sell side liquidity. I'm telling you my ideas before it's happening with logic, just like my mentor does, right? Okay, if you were watching ICT's live stream today, he would have told you the same thing, right? With this order block. Price went up, got support. Price closed the candle's body below the order block, right? So now what we want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side. Okay, that's a complex concept, okay? That's a reclaimed fair value gap, and that's a reclaimed order block, and I'm using it. The people who don't know why I'm using it, you can go and watch the core content on my mentor's channel, on ICT's channel, and you will find it there. He talks about uh, order blocks, reclaimed order blocks. Mentor is not doing a live stream today, unknown legend. If Mentor is doing a live stream, I'm not doing a live stream, because I wanna learn from my mentor. Okay, so did you hear me say when price was retracing back to this order block? Did you hear me to say that as price closed the candle's body below the order block, I want to see price remain heavy towards the downside, and I gave you a target, this sell side liquidity. That's how you learn. Okay, price filled this fair value gap, right? Let's look at the 15-minute chart. I'm just talking and avoiding the higher time frame. Okay, so this makes sense, right? This sell side liquidity, this makes sense to me because it's on higher time frame, and on higher time frame we can see price retracing towards the downside. Price got retracement from where? From this BPR, right? From this BPR, and we have an order block right here, right? I don't want to see price coming back up again and going above the order block, right? It's on 15-minute chart. I don't want to see that. I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side, and we can target this sell side like we want to see price come all the way down and offer sell side liquidity in this level, and then again in this level. If price is not closing a candle's body above this order block that you see here, right? I don't want to see price coming back up and close a candle's body above the breaker block. If it does that, I'm bullish. Okay, Sheikh Ghazi asked a nice question. He asked, like, when you say a candle body close above below the breaker block, does it have to be on the same time frame, or does a 1 minute candle close on a 5 minute breaker block count? You always want to keep in mind the higher time frame, right? And the chart where the breaker block is clear, you want to mark it on that thing, okay? Because on this when price was closed the candle's body below, okay, let's go on the replay mode. Okay, he asked a nice question. I want to explain. Okay, once price closed the candle's body, before price closed the candle's body, I marked the breaker block on 1 minute time frame. Why? I saw the breaker block on 3 minute, but on 3 minute, was it clear? It was only one candle, right? Do you see it? It was only this candle, and it wasn't clear on 3 minute chart. If it was clear on 3 minute chart, then I would have stick with 3 minute. But if you go on 1 minute chart, what do you see? You can see a full breaker block. Okay, so where the place where the time frame where you can see a clean breaker block, that's where you want to mark, right? So let's review again. Price closed the candle's body below breaker block. Price got the support, right? That was a very clean trade. Same thing again and again, folks. Once you get used to seeing this, like, you will see a breaker block everywhere, just like me. When other people do their analysis on Twitter and they don't mark the breaker block, I see the breaker block everywhere. Price is fractal. Yeah, price is fractal, but you have to know where to look for, right? It's very easy to get confused. Okay, unknown legend is asking to me to talk more about a reclaimed order block. That's a reclaimed order block. I talked about it. You can rewind the live and you can listen to it again. Why I told you guys that I don't want to see price close a candle's body above this order block, because that's a reclaim order block. And what did price did? Price came down, price got support from this order block. And what did I told you? I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side, right? After hitting this order block. And what are you seeing right now happening? The very exact thing I'm telling you, right? I'm not telling you two things. I'm indicating market in one way. Okay, are you guys learning something? Let me know in the chat. Are you guys learning? Say yes if you are. Are you guys learning something new from me? That's what I want to know. So Dixie. Okay, so Dixie, I told you that S price closed the candle's body above the breaker block, right? I showed you a breaker block, right? On 1 hour chart, I showed you these down close candles are breaker block. So price did what? Price closed the candle's body above the breaker block, above the midway of the breaker block, right? And then we had a fair value gap here, and I told you if price closed the candle's body above the midway, I want to see this fair value gap support price towards upside, right? And if I see a price closing a candle's body below the midway, then I can know price wanna go down. So far, we can only see wicks. wicks below the midway. So as long as price is not closing a candle's body below the midway, we are safe. It's 9:15. We have 15 minutes until the opening. And just look at this, bro. It's happening live in front of you. I told you, like, if price is coming down again in this order block, in this reclaim order block, then I don't want to see price close the candle's body below. If price is closing a candle's body below this order block, then I want to see price remain heavy towards the downside. That's how you do your analysis. If you are sticking with only one bias, like my bias is only for short and I'm only gonna sell, then very likely you are gonna be wrong, because market itself is not consistently moving towards one direction. Market is offering buy side, market is offering sell side. So your analysis will have to be like this. This kind of analysis requires patience, requires hard work, requires sticking with a concept for months. Okay, it requires months of tape reading. You won't see that things that I'm telling you here, you won't see once you go to your live chart. You won't see that. Why don't you see that? Because you don't have the experience. Macro time is incoming. We'll avoid that macro. We are avoiding 9:20 to 9:30 macro because of the high impact news. Okay. If price is closing a candle's body below this order, below this fair value gap, I'm bearish on dollar and bullish on indices. So let's wait. Let's wait for the confirmation from dollar, and then I'm engaging. 9:20 to 9:30 macro is not valid anymore. Wow, look at US 500. You want to learn from someone, who can show you and indicate market in one direction with logic, right? That was our breaker block, right? That was our breaker block. Did price close the candle's body below the breaker block? Here, it didn't, right? Where did price close the candle's body? Right here. Did price give you a chance to enter? Yes, it retraced. That's the retracement you are looking for. You are not looking for a big retracement like some of you are. I can understand you are new, to look market like this you need experience. So some are like this. The breaker block goes below, and some want to see like this. This retracement most of the time in breaker block won't happen. Okay, this retracement, it don't happen. The retracement you will see is something like this. Something like this. Price closes a candle's body below the breaker block, and then you look for a retracement instantly. Price came all the way up, and I shared the target with you, but we didn't took the trade, right? That's the benefit. When you let the trade go and you tape read, you show the market that you are patient, and market in exchange, market gives you experience. What did we gain here today? We gained experience. We gained experience from market to see how to look for a breaker block, how to see what price does once price closes the candle's body below the breaker block, right? So that's how you learn. And once you are done learning, you apply the concept on the market, on the price action, when price has low resistance liquidity run in macro time zones. So okay, so the breaker block concept, is it clear? If you guys have question about breaker block, you can ask me. See, it's all breaker block. Am I using any other concept? I'm telling you my analysis with other concept, but I'm only looking for entries, execution with breaker block. Do I have any question about breaker block? Okay, do you remember me saying when to avoid trading? I told you in between 8:35 to 9:20, that's the time you want to avoid trading. And if price has a 10 o'clock news, you want to avoid 9:20 to 9:30 macro. And what do you see here? After 8:35, what do you see until now? Does price provided any significant move? Any move with high any move with speed. No, it was manipulating, it was chopping around. Like, we have a target, we can see our target, but we do not trade in between this time. We build our experience, we do tape reading in between these times when we want to avoid trading. Okay, if you don't understand what is a breaker block, you can go on my mentor's channel. You can search ICT core content breaker block and you will get that. Why the macro is invalid for 9:20 to 9:30? Because of the high impact news at 10. We have a high impact news, like some kind of release, something release. So we just want to avoid. BR, what is a BR? BBT, he is asking me, can you please teach again how to identify BR? What is a BR? Okay, can we get 300 likes, folks? 300 people watching. Can we get 300 likes? Unknown Legend is saying we have 1 hour volume imbalance. We have 1 hour volume imbalance where? Let's look. Let's go at the 1 hour chart. Okay, let's hide all the drawings first. Hours. Okay. So where is the volume imbalance? That's not a volume imbalance. That's a weekly gap. That's a new week opening gap right here, isn't it? Yes. That's a Monday's opening price. So thank you, Unknown Legend, for telling me that. That's not a volume imbalance. That's a new week opening gap. And we have it here. Wow, it matches with our analysis. I told you that I want to see. Let's look at 15-minute chart. Okay, that's the green shaded box that you see. That's a new week opening gap. So I wanna, if we are really bearish, I wanna see price close a candle's body below this new week opening gap. Until then, price can come down and take this sell side liquidity, and then it can retrace. It can show a retracement from this new week opening gap. There is a volume imbalance, bro. I don't see a volume imbalance on hourly chart. Maybe it's because you have a different broker. Because I know, because when you have a different broker, you see different stuffs because of the broker. We don't have a volume imbalance on 1 hour, on 15 minute. Okay, we don't have that. If I see something and if it's significant to me, I'm gonna tell you. Okay, we are inside of the fair value gap where I told you guys to take the profit. So if price is using this fair value gap as support, we are bullish at 9:30. So if price is doing something like this, right, then we are bullish on US30, something like this. But if price does something like this, like if price is not closing a candle's body above the fair value gap, I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side and come down and offer sell side on this swing low, and then ultimately down here. So let's see what price does. This green box is our new week opening gap. New week opening gap on US30. Let's look at US 500. Let's look at US 500. Yes, US 500 is reaching for our target, right? Reaching for a fair value gap. That's a very clean rejection. If you go on 1 minute time frame, that's a very nice trade idea, right? Like suppose you are entering here, and your stop loss above the breaker block, right? And you are targeting this volume imbalance below. So what do you see? A 1.77 R. If you put it on 2 R, let's see if price gives us a 2 R in this breaker block. Let's see that, right? We did not took this trade. It's just an analysis. We want to see if our idea works or not. So that's the trade, right? It's a 2 R trade. It's not a 2 R. Now it's a 2 R. Yeah. So let's see if price does give us a 2 R. A 2 R is what you want to target, right? Do you guys know Paladin? Okay, if you guys know him, the way he trades, he targets 2R. Okay, so I learned that from him. I learned to target 2R from him and not to target like 4R, 5R. Okay, if you were taking this trade, it would have hit your TP just right now. And when did I tell you that I'm looking for this move? Once price hit this breaker block again, right? Do you guys remember me saying to you that we can target this fair value gap from there? That's a 2R, but we were avoiding this trade as we were in the no trade zone, right? Let's look at US 100. Okay, US 100 is remaining heavy towards the sell side. Why are we seeing this move? Do you guys remember me saying as price closed the candle's body below the midway of the volume imbalance, we want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side? That's how you know what price is gonna do, by measuring other premium PDRAs. Always remember that and apply it to your back testing, apply it to your trading ideas, and you will get the precision that you lack. Okay, you want to be precise like ICT, then don't be lazy. Do what ICT is telling you to do. Okay, so we close the candle's body below the midway, right? Now we don't want to see price coming all the way up and closing a candle's body above the fair value gap. We don't want to see any retracement on dollar in this fair value gap. We want to see dollar remain heavy towards the sell side. Okay, I'm getting a lot of questions. Let's see. In which time frame you mark the breaker block? Okay, the same question again. I mark the breaker block where I see it clearly. It doesn't matter if it's on 3 minute, if it's on 1 minute. I want a clean breaker block. On 3 minute, did you saw a clean breaker block when I outlined it for you? On 5 minute, did you saw a clean breaker block? No. The clean breaker block was on 1 minute chart, right? That was the clean breaker block, and that's what I marked. I mark only the breaker block where it's clean, and not like every breaker block. The breaker block that is inside the macro zone. So price is delivering just as we wanted to see, right? I told you guys when price was not here, right? When price was reacting in this fair value gap, I told you if we are seeing a candle body closure above this fair value gap, we are heavy towards buy side. But as long as price is not doing that, we are remaining heavy towards what? Sell side. And what do you see? Did price close the candle's body above the fair value gap or above the midway of the fair value gap? No, price did not. So what we expect? We expect to see price to remain heavy towards the sell side, right? So that's how you trade, folks. You do not target like everything. You take partial in between the zones where price gives you a chance. That's how you do it. The people who are getting sad, like the folks who are like, oh my god, this is a big down move, and if I was holding my trade from this breaker block, I would have been rich by now. No, you will always be poor if you think like this. That's the reality, okay? That's the reason uh why why so many traders are still poor and not making money, because of the greediness. Someone is asking, do you leave runners? Yes, I leave runners when the price action is clear and when there's no news impact, like no high impact news. That's the time when I leave my runner, because for me, okay, it's a simple logic. I'm still new, okay? So I'm learning. If I don't if I don't have a logic for price to hold my trade, why should I hold that? I'm learning, right? I need experience to hold a trade. So far, my longest trade was like 7 hour, and it was like months ago. Probably it was last year. After that, my most of the trade was like 2 hour and 4 hour. Suppose 60% is like 2 hour and like 40% are like uh 4 hour. Maybe someday I will show you guys my win rate. You will get surprised. Before why am I not showing you guys any result? Because I want you to see, like, what I'm telling you, it works on live. I can prove it to you live. Okay? If you look at my win rate, you will say that that's a Photoshop. That's not. Anyway, just keep in mind that we are inside of this new week opening gap and we just generated another equal low, right? And that's a 930 volatility. What DXY is doing? DXY is remaining heavy towards the sell side, just like I told you. Okay, I'm not. Am I? I'm also telling you the logic. Why am I looking at price? How am I looking at price? And what I'm looking for, right? I'm telling you, like, if price is closing a candle's body below, then I wanna see price remain heavy towards the sell side, and that's what happening. I'm sharing the logic with you. That's the main part. Anyone can be profitable in trading, right? But very few can tell you, uh, give you a signal with logic. So I want to see this equal high getting taken out. I don't want to see price leaving this equal high. Sorry, equal low. I'm saying equal high. Okay, did you saw any breaker block setup forming in the 920 to 930 macro? No. So now you know why I avoided 920 to 930 macro, because of the high impact news. If we have a high impact news at 10, price tend to be not generate any breaker block at 920 to 930. A breaker block gets generated once we have a Judas swing, once we have a turtle soup. And if we don't have a turtle soup, we don't have a breaker block. And when can we expect that? When can we avoid? When do I know that I want to avoid the breaker block, the macro? If we have a high impact news before that time zone, you want to avoid that. So we are getting retraced from this new week opening gap, right? Let's look at US 500. Let's see what's that doing. US 500. US 500 smashed through our target, right? And are we inside of any new week opening gap? No. Is it working? Okay, for the new week opening gap, I'm using this indicator. Okay, if you are new and if you are confused with your analysis, like, it's very hard to mark the new week opening gaps, then you can use this indicator. It's a new week opening gap, new day opening gap indicator from Kryptonite. Go on your trading view and search this name. You'll get the indicator. And the way I'm using the settings, you can see it here. You can take a screenshot and then you can apply it to your indicator. I'm looking back to 20 period days. Okay, so we are inside of this new week opening gap on ES, right? And if price is closing a candle's body below the midway of this new week opening gap, I'm bearish on ES. Let's measure the new week opening gap. And what do you see? Price is below the midway, right? Below the consequent encroachment of this new week opening gap. So as long as price is closing a candle's body below, we can expect to see this price action remain heavy towards sell side. So now let's see what happens. We are not taking any trade. We are learning, and we are enjoying reading price action. Okay, price got support from this new week opening gap, right? And price left this sell side liquidity. Okay, so what in my mind, what I'm thinking is something like this: as we left this new sell side liquidity, this relative equal lows, what I'm thinking is like price will take it out at 10 o'clock news. Okay, at 9:50 to 10:10, we want to see a breaker block forming, and we can, if we see a breaker block, we can target this sell side liquidity. So now let's just wait for a breaker block, right? Price did a stop hunt here. Our time is still not aligned. Time is not 9:50 to 10:10. So we are just gonna wait and let price manipulate. Okay, that's the time period when you don't want to push any button. That's the time period when you want to show a price that you are patient. Okay, and when do we engage? We engage at 9:50 to 10:10. That's the benefit of macro. It builds patience in you. You lack patience. All of you, all of us, we lack patience. So we need something to build patience. We need a strategy that will show you patience. Without that, like, it's very hard to trade in macro. That's how I trade, only in macro zone. In macros, I'm only looking for one setup, and I'm only trading in macro zone. Okay, so that's how I build my patience. Okay, I'm getting question about how do you determine new week opening gap for US 100, SP5, S&P 500, and US30. I just showed you the indicator that I use. I use this indicator. You can take a screenshot right now, and you will find it on the indicator section on TradingView. Okay, we are just waiting. We are just waiting. We are doing nothing. Okay, okay. Let me know how many of you are trading on US30. And if you are trading on US 100, let me know that too. If you are trading on US 500, let me know that too. Let me know where are you trading. Chat, let me know that. Wow, so I think most of you are trading on ES, right? Most of you are trading on ES. Very few that I see are trading actually on US30. But it's a correlative pair. What I'm telling you right here, you can apply the same logic, same concept on US 500 on and on other pairs. You are seeing me applying the same concept on other pair, right? Okay, price did not close their candle's body above the midway of this new week opening gap, right? So now what we want to see is price to remain heavy towards sell side. That's what you are saying. That's how you know what price is gonna do. Okay, folks, you measure the new week opening gap and you see how price is closing the candle's body. Let's go on the lower time frame. That's our new week opening gap. right? So what do you see here? Price close the candle's body. Okay, let me that's our new week opening gap. Okay, and what do you see here? Price close the candle's body below the consequent encroachment of the new week opening gap, and as soon as price closed the candle's body below, what the price did after? Price retraced back to the midway. Do you see the power of measuring? Okay, that's why ICT tells us to measure it and see the reaction, how candles behave. Okay, what? Okay, if you see it every single day happening in front of you, that's what price does always, folks. Once you see that, you get confident in your trade. Okay, if you were actually trading in your on US 500, you could have been very confident as soon as price closed the candle's body below the midway of the new week opening gap, and then price retraced, price hit the 0.5 level, the midway, and then price is dropping. Okay, did you hear me say this move incoming before it happened? How I was able to tell you that? I was able to tell you that by measuring the new week opening gap, by measuring the breaker block, by measuring the fair value gap. Okay, someone like S, I don't know how to spell your name, is saying, dude, check your chart. That is a new day opening gap, not new week opening gap. Look at my indicator. My indicator is saying it's a new week opening gap, and my logic is correct. So I don't care if it's a new day opening gap. You can shut down. Okay, so we want to see price hunt the sell side liquidity right now. We want to see price take out these relative equal lows that you see here. And ultimately, I want to see price come down on ES and fill this volume imbalance, fill this fair value gap. Sorry, right? That's a very clean analysis on ES. Let's look at US30. Do you see the very reason why I tell you not to take a trade if you miss your entry at 920 to 930? Do you see what price is doing right now? It's manipulating. Okay, let's look at ES and let's look at the regular trading hours. I don't have a subscription with but anyway, it's this chart that you see here. It's on CME/mini, and I don't have a subscription on that, so that's a 10-minute delayed chart. I just want to see the gap on regular trading hours. Okay, so price created a gap when it opened on regular trading hours towards the sell side. So that's the very reason we are seeing a move towards the sell side. And we also have other confirmation. We have this breaker block, right? Do you see how powerful a breaker block is? Do you see that, folks? Do you need any other concept if you understand breaker block? Just look at this. You saw me outline this breaker block before it happened. You saw me telling you that I want to see price remain heavy towards sell side after it was retracing when it was just here. It's all live. You can go rewind and you can learn from it. And I told you we can target this fair value gap right here because that's in a discount zone, right? And we got that. Then I told you we can target this sell side liquidity right here, and that's also incoming. And why I was thinking like that, I shared everything with you today. That's like a mentorship level analysis. And if you're enjoying that, I expect to get a thumbs up from you. And if you did that, I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, a lot of questions. I'm getting a lot of questions. Let's check that. What is a breaker block? Okay, if you don't know what is a breaker block, you can go on the YouTube channel by the name Inner Circle Trader and you can find it there. Are there any macros for PM session? Yes. Are there any macros for the PM session? Yes. To me is asking you only use the bodies and no wicks when marking the breaker block. Yes, I only use the bodies of the breaker block, and I explained this like so many times. I mark the body because that's where the liquidity is. Okay, the wicks that you see, that do the damage, that goes for the stop loss, and the body is where the most of the liquidity is. That's the reason I mark the body. Okay, someone is asking, is 8:50 to 9:10 a macro? No, that's the time zone when we avoid trading. That's not a macro. The macro starts at 8:20 to 8:30. Okay, so we just delivered the sell side liquidity. Okay, if we were holding till there, right, from this breaker block, wow, it would have been a 10-hour trade. Anyway, we are happy with our 4 hour, right? A lot of you got 4 hour, I know, but I got 2 hour. Any reason you don't trade PM? I don't like to trade whole day. I have a personal life and I want to enjoy it after I'm done with trading. So mostly I'm trading only the AM session. And to be precise, I'm only trading till 10:30. After that, I'm getting done every day. Okay, our nearest liquidity pool is on this equal lows, right? So if you are in this trade, you can be very, very confident that price will go down in this zone and it will hit your TP, and you can hold until price goes to this fair value gap. Just be cautious as we have at 10 o'clock news, right? Chat, we just delivered the sell side liquidity. So where does it make more sense for price to go? Towards the buy side or towards the sell side? Let me know in the chat section and then I will tell you my point of view where price is going. Everyone is saying buy side, buy side. It's like only 2% who are saying sell side. Let's see, let's wait and see. For me, I think To me, it makes sense towards the sell side, but let's see what price does. Okay, I have a lot of confirmation that tells me that price is gonna go, price is gonna offer sell side, but if you look at US 100, we have these relative equal highs towards upside, right? And on US 100, price did offer sell side here. So let's be patient and let's see what price does. We don't have any clean setup. We don't have any setup with breaker block. So we are just waiting. We have, let's look at the dollar chart. Okay, so dollar is remaining heavy towards the sell side. And I gave you the signal when dollar was inside this fair value gap. I told you if it's not closing a candle's body below the midway of this fair value gap, we will see price expanding towards upside. But what dollar did? Dollar closed the candle's body below the midway. And after that, what do you see? Dollar expanding aggressively towards sell side, right? So we are offering more sell side. That's the place where it makes sense. It makes sense to me as we if you go on the people who were saying to me that it will offer more buy side, why? It offered buy side a lot and it left imbalance, then equal lows towards the sell side. But we are not looking for any trade right now. Why? Because of the dollar. US30 is moving with dollar. Dollar is going down, US30 is going down. For our high probability setup, when dollar moves lower, we want to see US30 moving higher. But that's not what we are seeing here, right? So that's not a high probability condition. We are inside of our macro zone 950, right? So now let's look for the setup. Let's not talk anymore and let's look for the setup. Let's go on the 5-minute chart. On 5-minute chart, we just hit a fair value gap. We have a macro. We are inside of our macro zone, guys. Remember, 950 to 1010. That's the time when we should look for a trade idea. We are inside of this fair value gap, this CB on 5-minute chart. Let's go on the 3-minute chart. Buy side, you keep going back and forth. US30 and DXI. As a newbie, is it okay to stay on one chart and focus? If you want to stay on one chart, you can go and watch someone else live stream. I'm gonna do the way I wanna do it. And if you enjoy it, then you are very welcome. If you don't enjoy it, don't complain. And if you are complaining, then you are getting blocked. I'm gonna trade the way I wanna trade. I'm not gonna trade the way you are telling me to trade. I wanna see price not closing a candle's body above this fair value gap. And I wanna see a breaker block setup. I wanna see a breaker block setup. Okay, at the end, I'm getting a lot of requests to show the breaker block setup again. At the end, I'll do that before I close my trade. Okay, I still don't see a breaker block setup. Okay, if it's okay, we also have to keep in mind that our targets, will this trade will give us a 2R, minimum 2R. That's what we are looking. Suppose I'm executing after price closes a candle's body below this breaker, right? Let's wait and let's see what price does. It's inside of our macro zone, so that's the reason I'm outlining. And we are also inside of a 5-minute fair value gap. Do you guys remember? I showed you. And we did a stop hunt right here. right? That's a stop hunt. The way I'm doing and explaining to you folks, no one will do that. That's a lot of work, you know. So if you don't appreciate that, I don't want you here. So that's the stop hunt. That's the breaker block, right? So I want to see price close the candle's body below the breaker block, and then I want to engage. That this gray shaded box that you see, it's a 5-minute fair value gap. Let me take you on the 5-minute chart. That's a 5-minute fair value gap. We are waiting. No push of a button yet, okay? We have a 10 o'clock news, folks. We have a 10 o'clock news, so let's just be patient, okay? And just wait. Just see what happens, and then we can engage. It's 9:57, 10, only 3 minutes until the news hits. If you are in a trade, please close it. Please be patient. Okay, you are not missing anything. Dixie, let's see what Dixie does. US 500. On US30, price offered sell side liquidity, right? And I can see a breaker block here. That's a breaker block. That's the order block, not a breaker block. Why it's a order block? Because we don't have a swing high or swing low, right? So that's the order block, and price is using it as a support. But on US 500, it's very clear, right? Compared to US30, on US 500, the setup itself is very clear. So I want to see what US 500 does, and also what US 30 is what US 30 is doing. 2 minute, and then we will have a news. We will see a lot of volatility in market. I got a 2R today, so I'm happy. I'm in profit. I don't care if price is presenting me a setup or not. I'm just analyzing my chart and I'm learning with you all. So let's just be patient. 9:59. Price is rejecting off from this fair value gap, and it's in a premium zone, right? You don't need a FIV to know that. But anyway, I'm gonna do it. Price is in a premium zone, inside of a fair value gap. So I don't want to see price go up this fair value gap. I want to see price remain heavy towards the sell side. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, someone is saying, doesn't MT4 seems to deliver price differently? Okay. Price did a stop hunt. Stop hunt. No breaker block. I don't see a clean breaker block, so I'm not gonna engage. The people who were in a trade right now and were in a short, they just got wrecked. Okay, did you saw a price closing a candle's body below this breaker block? No, so our trade idea is invalid. Our macro for 10 950 to 1010 is invalid. So no more setups. 1 minute chart, nothing. US30 is offering buy side, right? Wow. Time to short? No, it's not our time to short yet. We have our old breaker block right here, right? We also have this reclaimed fair value gap right here, this inversion. Let's see, let's just wait and see what price does. On US30, if you look on the 50-minute chart, that's a 50-minute chart. What price is doing? Price just hit a fair value gap on the 50-minute. Let me mark it for you. That's a fair value gap. Price hit it, and it's in a premium zone, right? So now let's see if price presents us any breaker block setup. Let's go on US 100. Let's look at ES. Nah, man, I'm not. I don't want to engage, in this price action because I don't see a clean breaker block. So I'm not gonna engage. Yes, I know equal low in US 500. I told you that price will deliver there. On US 500, we went up and we hit this. Is it a breaker block? Well, it doesn't look like. Well, wow, price hit another breaker block again. Do you see it, Chad? Do you see the breaker block? Let me outline it for you. That says stop hunt. That says swing high, right? So these down close candles, this becomes our breaker block. And what do you see price doing right now? Price hit the breaker block, rejected from this breaker block. I didn't saw it. Otherwise, I would have mentioned it, okay? I didn't saw it, but anyway, we missed our setup. We missed the entry. The setup was there, but we didn't see it. Anyway, if we look on the higher time frame, our analysis was correct, right? Our analysis was right. We wanted to see this equal lows getting taken out, and that's the thing price is doing right now. And we have this hourly fair value gap to fill. So yeah, and we didn't took any loss. That's the main part. We missed a setup on US 500. I didn't saw it. Otherwise, you would have heard me saying like, just be careful, but look at this breaker block. I missed this breaker block. Otherwise, that's a very nice trade. Like, if you enter at this breaker block, right, and then you put your stop loss above the breaker block, and you target 2R. Let's say you are targeting 4R. Then you are getting 4R. But anyway, we didn't saw it. But anyway, folks, I'm gonna close my today's live session here. You saw me outline everything that was happening on chart. Nothing was like uh nothing was unknown to us, right? We had logic behind every price move. that price was doing. We had logic. I shared my logic with you all, and you saw price do the very exact thing I'm telling you that it will do. Right? You saw it. You all of you are approved. And if you are following me on Twitter, I expect you to give a thumbs up. And if you are watching it on live on YouTube, give me a thumbs up, okay? Show your appreciation, and I'll take you through the 820 to 830 trade once again, and then we will close. Okay, so when do we look for a setup? We look for a setup in between this time, 820 to 830, in our macro zone. Okay, and we got the setup today. If you go rewind the live stream, you will hear me pointing out everything before price did. Before price hit this reclaimed fair value gap, I outlined it to you. I told you that I want to see price reject from this reclaimed fair value gap. We saw it. I told you I want to see price reject from this breaker block. It did. I gave you two targets. This internal sell side liquidity, price delivered with precision. Then I gave you this fair value gap as a target. Price hit that too. And we talked about a lot of other things about new week opening gap, right? If you learned something, give it a thumbs up, and I'm closing here. Thank you guys. Have a nice day. And I'll catch you guys on my next live stream. Maybe I'm doing it tomorrow, but we'll see. Thank you all. Thank you for this for today. Have a nice day.